Welcome to SNB Talkin Sport. I'm your host, Spinksy. And guys, we have a special show lined up for you this week. If you are listening to us on Spotify, fantastic. And we love our Spotify listeners, but I advise you to tune into YouTube because something's about to happen in the next 10 or 15 minutes that you guys are not going to want to miss. Trust me, hop off your Spotify right now, go on to YouTube because this is something that you're going to want to see for sure. Now, as you know, we are recording on a Wednesday night this week instead of a Monday night. Guys, what was your excuse for not being here on Monday night? Ness, we'll start with you.
I'd like to say it was a fantastic romantic Valentine's Day celebrations. It was not, sadly. I was dealing with the great unwashed, those that refused to leave my event site because they wanted to protest. So that was my Monday. That's been my week. How about you guys?
You're so good. I escaped Valentine's. I told the lady that not told, that seems a bit aggressive. I warned her that Valentine's Day might come a day early because the Super Bowl is on. That takes preference in my household. So I was doing Super Bowl festivities, which I was not in the right state of mind to record a podcast afterwards.
Yeah.
I saw an amazing cheese platter though that you made. So that's the way to any girl's heart, my friend. That
love the charcuterie board. The lady loves it too. There was plenty on there.
Well done.
Very nice.
Can make a board.
Everyone, Valentine's Day on Monday. Hope your husbands and your partners and your wives got everything that you guys wanted. But yes, we're here to talk sport, but I need to say something first. I failed to thank my mum last week, the first show back, for the fantastic microphone. As you guys can see, it like springs back and forth like that. It's fantastic. Big shout out to my mum for getting me this. We spoke about it off air last week and I failed to mention it on the show. So thank you, Mum. You're the best and I love you. Thanks, Mum. Cheers.
If Mum, you want to deliver one to Bo and I, we'll thank you. We'll remember to thank you.
Your mum gets you out of hard places, doesn't she?
She certainly does that. She sure does. Right, let's start with some news. Let's talk about the Super Bowl first. My team, the Dallas Cowboys, weren't there, but I jumped on the Bengals bandwagon a couple of weeks into the season, into the finals, and my boy Joey Burrow couldn't quite get there. The Rams led for most of the first half, and the Bengals came back with an awesome touchdown in the start of the second half, but they got there in the very end, and the Rams are the Super Bowl champions. Mate, you obviously watched the game throughout. Did you think the Rams are going to actually win it, or did you think that the Bengals were going to come away with it at the end?
Man, it was tough, actually, just because of just everything the Bengals have done all season, really. But in the postseason too, coming back from being down, you knew they were always going to be in it. And I got real worried when when Odell did his ACL, you kind of knew it was ACL straight away. So you feel for the guy on a contract year. And you kind of, I was a bit worried about what the Rams offense would do. And they kind of shit the bed after that. They did nothing the whole second half until really the end of that game. But good Super Bowl to watch. Almost great, I think. I was torn. It was the first Super Bowl I've watched in ages where I was just happy for either team to win. There was great storylines from both sides of the game. Probably leaning towards the Rams. I had a fair bit of money on them winning, so they come up. They delivered for me. But a good game to watch, and just so many storylines that come out of it where you have to be happy. So
I had a 6-leg multi, and the first 5 legs were all good, and the 6th leg was the Bengals to win it. So I was rather upset that my mate lost the line. If you haven't seen the footage, the Bengals had the football with about 30 seconds left, about 50 yards out, and Joey got absolutely nailed and sacked by Aaron Donald. Aaron Donald messed him up.
Have you seen that? Have you seen the play of Jamar Chase being wide open on that final play? Just burned Jalen Ramsey.
He should have won, yeah. Like, it's just, but they say you have to lose one to win one. So hopefully the Bengals can bounce back in the next couple of seasons. No one's ever won a Natty, a Heisman, and a Super Bowl, so it'd be nice for Joey to go on and do that eventually. But the halftime show was sensational. That's the music I grew up with and the music I've loved for many years now. And to have Dre and Snoop and Eminem and 50 Cent and Mary there, it was just incredible to see. I was actually at work on the day, but I've seen the footage of the halftime show about 8 times now. Did you guys love it?
Yeah.
I just like
I love
I didn't catch all of it, but I heard something about there was someone taking a knee, and I think that's excellent. Did it happen?
Yeah.
Is it real?
Eminem used to take a knee, and the NFL warned him to not take a knee during it, and he was like, "No, I'm doing it."
That's so good. And it is Spinks, it's music we grew up to, and it's all I could think about is the boys from Griffith High School, year 2002, rocking out to all of that. It's pretty scary.
Exactly. Now, let's move on here. We've been talking about this guy for about the last 18 months now. Ben Simmons has been traded. It has finally happened. NBA news, the Nets are trading James Harden, the most overrated dude in the world, to the Sixers for Simmons, Seth Curry, Andre Drummond, and 2 first-round draft picks. So Simmons will now be on the same team as Aussie Patty Mills. It looks like Ben Simmons won't make his debut until after the All-Star weekend, which I think is not this weekend, next weekend. So it should be coming back to playing basketball soon. Is it time for Ben to shut up and start playing the sport he loves and just doing the right thing? Don't go out there and doing all these interviews. Just do your thing, man.
I reckon. I think it is. I think kind of a good trade for both teams. Like you said, James Harden probably kind of overrated for everything you can do with the basketball. But also they have as many issues off the court as each other almost. Like James Harden is no saint, I think. Ben Simmons, though, who knows? I hope it's a fresh start for him, and having the talent around him again. Hopefully his mind's in the right place, and who knows what Brooklyn can do when they add him. Like he's just a monster. Could be a monster. What is he? 6'6" or something? He moves so well. He can play 4 positions on the court. It's going to be exciting to watch. I can't wait to see.
Yeah, I find it a bit strange. I think with Simmons, he's not much of a shooter, but the transition from defense to offense is unreal. So I think he's probably in a good spot where the guys around him are all shooters, so he can set them up. So I think it's a good spot to be. I think the Nets have lost like 12 games straight or something. So hopefully going forward, he can sort of help them out. But we'll see what happens. Yes. UFC was on over the weekend. I'm not sure if you guys watched the UFC. Let's start with the main title fight of the night. Israel Adesanya defeated Aussie Robert Whittaker. I watched the fight. Whittaker's come out. This is the second time the two of them have fought. They fought in Melbourne about 18 months back when the UFC was over here, and Israel has beaten him both times. He beat him convincingly on Sunday afternoon, our time. But Whittaker's come out after the fight and said that he thought he won the fight. Mate, there is no way you won that fight. There is no way. The judges scored it 49-46, whatever it was. There's no way you won that, mate. There's no way. And he cried foul after the fight, and it's been all over the news. And I'm like, mate, if you could have won the fight, you should have won it in the ring instead of waiting for the judges to actually announce it. I think, maybe try harder next time. Israel's like 6 inches taller than you, like 8 inches of reach, and he just had you all fight. So best of luck to you going forward, but don't try and fight this dude again. That's just me. So
Do better.
Did you guys happen to catch any of the UFC?
I saw none of it. I saw someone put a 50K parlay on a $50,000 multi. So I thought, oh, I'll replicate that. He must know what he's doing. That turned out to not be a very good option. I didn't put anywhere near that amount of money on, but that was the closest thing I got to watching.
Well, we've been talking about this on the show for a few months now, and we said we'd do a shoey on the show if Daniel Ricciardo ever won a Formula One race, and that's looking more and more unlikely every single day. There is a young man in the UFC named Tai Tuivasa, and he is a very big unit out of Western Sydney. I think he's about 130 kegs, and on the weekend he beat an American dude. I can't remember his name at the moment. Sorry, but I texted you guys and said if Tai Tuivasa wins this fight, I will do a shoey on the show. It was a $4.50.
Okay,
Yeah.
He was a $4.50 outsider to win the fight, and I had a wager against him to win. And I sat here and watched it, and he knocked this dude out with the most savage elbow you've ever seen. Come flying across the top, smacked him in the side of the head, and old mate fell like a bag of spuds. So here I am with my shoes.
The broth.
So this is why you needed to tune in. This is gonna be bad.
It's fantastic. If this doesn't get us followers for days, nothing ever will.
A great Northern too. What an Australian. What a bloke.
Yeah, what a bloke. Send it.
How's it smell? Go on. Oh, that shoe looks like it's better days as well.
Yeah, check out the bottom of that.
Well, isn't it? Oh,
Well done, Spinks. Well done, Spinksy. Crazy animal.
Oh, man. How's it smell? Go on. Oh, that shoe looks like it's better days as well.
Yeah, check out the bottom of that.
Well, isn't it? Oh,
Well done, Spinks. Well done, Spinksy. Crazy animal.
Oh, man.
Sorry about that. It's so gross.
I hope that was your shoe.
My shoe, yeah. That's definitely my shoe. Very nice. And congratulations to Tai Tuivasa, and hopefully you guys will do a shoey next time when Daniel Ricciardo wins a Formula One race. Hopefully that's sometime soon.
Done. Lock it in.
Let's move on to the NRL All-Stars match. The Maori team won 16-10 on Saturday night. A lot of pomp and ceremony going on before the game actually started. There was a lot of dancing and a lot of Aboriginal heritage and Maori heritage going on, but the game on the field was actually fantastic. The Maori team won 16-10. Sorry.
That Moosehead's floor coming up.
Yeah, it's bad. Oh, thank you. The Maori team won 16-10. It could have gone either way, right down to the wire. I loved they had so much talent on the field to start their season off, and I just love the fact there was fights in the game. It was raining. It came down to the wire. It was like round 23 or whatever. It was so strong, and I loved it. It should be on every year. Did you guys catch the game?
I did catch a little bit of it. I was sort of working at the time with nothing like working with your colleagues and watching a bit of the footy in the meantime. You're right. There was a lot of sort of cultural performance and things at the start of the game, which I thought was excellent. And yeah, it was, I mean, I guess it's the start of the season. So the first few minutes was a little bit unruly, but it was a pretty good performance really, and plenty of sin bins and lots of head highs, and yeah, it was a bit wild really, but it was a good spectacle. So a good start to the footy season.
Yeah, I tuned in and I loved it, and I can't get enough of the haka and the Indigenous, like their dance. And I thought it was a really good game of footy, considering these teams have only been together for a week. They're playing in the rain. I think there's just potentially an opportunity. Well, there's not an opportunity, but it'd be so good if we could see like the Maori team and the Indigenous team in some kind of what do you call it? Like with PNG and with those nations in
Pacific
some kind of
round.
in some sort of Pacific kind of, maybe middle of the year, like what we do with Origin. And I know it wouldn't work because there's Origin players, and obviously they would be in Origin. But if we could see those teams coming up against other teams mid-season, it's just they're so talented at the moment. I think we're real lucky with that, with what we have from the Maoris and the Indigenous teams. It's just seeing them. Yeah, like I said, they've been together a week. They haven't really put anything together. They're playing in the rain, and I thought it was good watching. It was, and maybe that's just I haven't watched rugby league in a little while. So, but I enjoyed it. But yeah, if we could see those teams in mid-season form, it'd be good for us.
So good. Moving on to the Phoenix Open. Now, Phoenix Open is the what was the Adam Sandler movie? Happy
Gilmore.
Happy Gilmore. What was the Adam Sandler?
The Phoenix
Top five of all time.
That Great Northern really went to your head.
It does go my head. Phoenix Open is the Adam Sandler's of the golfing tournament. This is where you turn up, you drink for 4 days straight, and they just go nuts. Golf is a very spectator sport where you tap your hands nice and softly. It's all calm and relaxed. This tournament is loose. The guys hit a hole-in-one on the 16th hole. I think it was an American dude. I can't actually remember his name. And the alcohol has rained from the sky. They've never seen it look like this. They were throwing their stubbies onto the 16th hole, and it was fantastic.
Going at it is so tough, but it is worth the reward right here.
Bam! Cocktails.
Sam Ryder has a very expensive bar tab ahead of him. On the 16th hole, take a look at that. You will never see anything else like this in the world.
Mate, you are our golfing expert on this show. Did you happen to catch it, and have you seen it?
Sorry to disappoint. Didn't watch it, but I have seen that hole-in-one on the 16th and the way the crowd reacted. And holy shit, what you wouldn't pay to be a part of that, huh? They look like they were having a fucking ball.
The time of your life.
Yeah, unfortunately, I didn't watch the event, but seeing that was just it's a vibe, isn't it? And it's just something you don't see in golf. So,
and it looks like, just for all you fans out there with plenty of money, it looks like the Super Bowl next year will be in Arizona, and it's the same week as the Arizona Open. So if you guys have got some money, over in the States and watch the Super Bowl, and then stay for a few more days, and you spend 4 days at the Arizona Open, and you guys will love it.
I think we should go. I think we should do the podcast from there.
So let's go.
There we go. That's right off. Let's go. Hopefully they're not $8,000 nosebleeds in Arizona.
Now, Ness, you brought this story to us this week. Aussie Joe Ingles, he's done his ACL and has been traded. How much does that suck that you're injured and you get traded to a really, really horrible team?
Yeah, and I've spoken a little bit about Joe Ingles. He, as you'd all know if you've listened previously to the pod, married local, well, not local here, but local Australian Renee Hallinan, who used to play for the Melbourne Vixens and the Australian Diamonds. They've been living in Utah for 8 years. So, look, super sad actually. So he went down had an injury and went down with his ACL. And, you know, they've got a huge social media presence and took straight to it to say how disappointed they were. And he vowed to get back, and they've long been supporters of the Jazz and the whole community, and obviously being two Aussies over there in the midst of things. Yeah, it would be pretty heartbreaking to have been traded. So we know he's going to Portland. And certainly the message now is that he's just going to focus on getting back. A lot of people are calling for him to retire. Yeah. But Jumpin' Joe's pretty damn good. So I think we'll see him still shooting hoops and massive three-pointers for a long time. And yeah, I've spoken a lot about the work that they do off court as well, those two. So they seem like two just fantastic people, and have made a real, I guess, dent in the American culture, certainly at the Jazz. So hopefully Portland welcome them with open arms.
Yeah.
Plus, he gets the fuck out of Utah, so that's a blessing in disguise.
They seem to love it though.
That's
So
a
I don't know, they seem to love it.
What's in Utah? I have no idea. It just seems like
Yeah.
Yes.
Breaking Bad, where's that film?
Yeah.
That's what I think of if I think Utah. Like that's where they're living. Just
Yeah, actually.
All right, let's turn our attention to the Winter Olympics now. And I sat here on, let's say, Wednesday night, and I watched the snowboard halfpipe final with my 6-year-old daughter, and she was going off. I think it was actually on during the day, but they had highlights on that night. And now Aussie Scotty James won silver, and he's probably the most notable Australian snowboarding dude that we have. He won silver, but there was a young Italian turned Aussie, 16-year-old. I think he finished 5th or 6th, and he was just stoked to be there. And he went off. He was doing flips and backflips and somersaults and all that stuff. And he finished 6th, and he was just he was so well spoken and so happy to be part of the event. And I'm like, dude, you're 16. At 16, I was not doing that at all. There was no way.
No, I can vouch for the fact you were not.
Yeah, true. Thank you. The dude who won the tournament ended up being a Japanese dude, and he was incredible. And my 6-year-old was going off. It was so good to see an event that we're not very strong in, and we almost won it, almost there. However, we did win a silver with Jacqueline Nethercott in the skeleton. Now, the skeleton is the one where you're on the toboggan thing, head first down the hill, 130 k's an hour, head first down the hill. That is ridiculous.
It's wild.
Why do people do that? Like, can you guys help me out here? Why would you go 130 k's head first down the hill? That's just ridiculous.
I cannot help you out. I think everyone knows I'm a princess, and doing that is way poking out of it. I'm not going anywhere near that. Absolutely. You got rocks in your head, I say, but good on it.
Yeah, it's crazy. She's a sister of a local guy here that I know, and yeah, like she won our first ever medal. So that's just crazy in that field. I don't know why you do it either, but super talented, and what an achievement. So absolute credit to her. You would not find me doing that.
It's been the most successful Winter Olympics they've had. 4 medals so far. So it's been fantastic. So shout out to everyone who won those 4 medals. And I've been tuning in a lot more. It's just been so nice to see us doing so well in sports that we're not that strong in. So yeah, shout out to all you guys. Nice work. All right, it's time for the good, bad, and ugly this week. And I get the good this week as we're doing the rotation around. And I want to talk about the sporting world calendar. So we just finished the American football season, and we're just starting into the NRL, the AFL, the Super Rugby starts on this weekend. Make sure you get out to watch the Waratahs because they're the best team around. Thanks, Ness. Cheers. But yeah, the way the sporting calendar works, between the 3 of us, I reckon we've got every sport in the world covered. I reckon between the 3 of us, we watch almost everything. So there's never an off season as such because we just love everything that we see. So the NFL finished on Monday. The Super Rugby starts on Friday. There's been NRL trials on, and there's just so much sport on at the moment that if you guys aren't enthralled by something, you're not trying hard enough. The Winter Olympics are almost over, or they are over, but there's so much on at the moment and all year. So whoever gets together to organize this, kudos. You guys are doing so well. So thank you to everyone all the sports stars out there that make me not have to spend a weekend without sport. That's my good.
That's why I don't sleep, Spinks.
That's why I don't. Now, Ness, you are up for the bad this week. What do you have for your bad?
Yeah, it's probably more sad than bad, to be fair. This is about Will Pucovski. Is that how we're saying it? The 24-year-old, really talented cricketer who has had a series of really serious head injuries, and a lot of talk about, maybe it's time for him to retire from the sport, which would be absolutely devastating. A lot of people are saying that he is one of, if not the best upcoming young cricketer. They've likened him to the Pontings of the world. So there's no sort of shortage of talent with this guy. But he has suffered a lot, and they're saying that he's had 11 concussions. The most recent being he was, training and just warming up on the field, and a volleyball. I've had volleyball, I've had soccer, don't know, but having a bit of kick around, play around pre-game, and that wiped him out for a Sheffield Shield game. So really sad news actually coming out of that. They're saying he's, super talented, the whole world ahead of him at 24, and to have 11 concussions by 24. I'm certainly no medical expert, but there's enough evidence throughout other sports to suggest that repeated concussions are leading to long-term harm, and we're seeing that certainly with the new HIA rules across other codes. So hopefully we've got it wrong here, and hopefully for his sake, some R&R gets him back on the cricket pitch and doing what he's doing best, which is opening the batting and just smashing it. He's seriously notching up some runs. So yeah, probably sad news rather than bad. So hoping that he is good.
That is sad at such a young age.
Yeah.
And 11 concussions is scary, isn't it?
That's huge. Yeah. And obviously the more that you get, the more significant it is. And this one was just a volleyball or a soccer ball that hit him in the head and took him out for the game. So, and we saw Steve Smith actually in the Manuka Oval game last night. So it's we probably see it a little bit less in cricket. You would say, obviously, notwithstanding the really significant things with Phil Hughes, obviously, but you see it every week. Multiple times in footy. Probably a little bit less so in cricket. So to have had 11 is huge for such a young guy.
So I don't know the guy. Is he a multi-sport athlete or anything, or his concussions have all come from cricket?
Yeah,
I believe all cricket.
That's strange. I'm not sure whether he's like more susceptible to those injuries. Because I remember he was supposed to line up for the 50 over team about 18 months back, and he got injured in the warm-up. I think it was, or the day before. And so he's had this head knock, and I'm not sure if you've had a few, if you're more susceptible.
Become more susceptible.
Yeah. He just seems...
more strict.
Yeah.
Well, it does seem that way. We saw, the Luke Kearys and, like Tatafu Pelota now. Like there are, so many footy stars that had serious injuries. Look at any Roosters player last year.
Boyd
you have
Cordner,
one
probably.
Boyd Cordner for sure.
Yeah, exactly.
There's some serious head knocks there.
Yeah.
Typical Rooster.
Oh, that's sad.
Yeah.
Over you, Bo.
Mr. Bo, what have you got for us? Yeah, ugly, mate.
Well, sorry, I'm all down after that. It's awful. My ugly, though, this week is Jared Haynes being released from prison. He's a free man released on bail after his, I think we all know about his sexual assault claims. And I'm not taking side of he or the victim or whatever, but there's kind of enough evidence that it looks ugly for him. It's ugly for the NRL. It's ugly for the sporting world. And seeing him released, I actually read about it today, and he's made a statement saying he's kept himself fit the entire time, and he's always going to be fit. And if you've seen photos of him, he looks far from fit. He's ugly in a physical sense. So ugly in the news story, and ugly that he's just not the Jared Hayne that we've all seen be a magician on the football field, the NFL field. But ugly that I think he kind of is deserved is what he's been sentenced to. To me, I don't know, call a spade a spade. He seems guilty to me, but he kind of gets off free. I think there's like 12 months or something before he goes back to finalize everything. But I just don't think we need to see Jared Hayne released already.
I'm the same way. Yeah, I think he got his sentence was 8 years, but it was 3.5 parole, and he got released early. There should be a third trial again soon, as you said, about 12 months. So I expect him to be with Newcastle Knights shortly.
Mate, we are stuck for talent, but we are not scraping
There's no doubt about his talent. It's just his off-field shenanigans that you probably don't need. You need some stability over in Newcastle.
Talent, but even at his prime, he was hard to love just because he was a cock. Like, he was just. I don't know. For me, it's nice when you have kind of the people that aren't so on themselves, which are just amazing. I.e., Kevin Ponga, the best there ever is. Beautiful man, beautiful goal, just perfect. If everyone was like Caleb, the NRL would be great.
We've got a James Tedesco. I get it.
No, don't be talking about fucking Roosters. No way.
Oh, no, we can't even say anything about the Sharks because no one knows who plays and no one cares.
We've got just shout out to all the Sharks fans out there.
No,
We've got Nico.
None of them watch this show.
Sorry, hang on. Just a sidebar, right? Sidebar. So I became a member of the Sharks again this year after a few years off, and the Sharks Membership Foundation have sent me a Sharks member topless photos of Nico Haynes. I shit you not, I've got emails and they're like, look at this dude training in his shorts. And I'm like,
they're just trying to appeal to the chicks.
Nico Haynes shirtless for. I enjoy it.
No chick supporting rugby league is supporting the Sharks. I'm sorry.
Wait, you're not Googling Nico Haynes topless? Because it's all over my Google.
I was impressed. Yeah. I was impressed myself. Right. Coming up in the next week, we have NRL trials, of course. There's fantastic amount of NRL trial matches on. Most of them are in the country, which is fantastic. We'll talk about a few games in Mudgee next weekend before the Mudgee Cup, but all your NRL teams are trialing this weekend, and the Super Rugby is starting up again too. So make sure you get out and support the New South Wales Waratahs, the best team in the conference. And I believe the Brumbies are playing the Western Force here in Canberra on Sunday afternoon. Is that right, Ness?
Sunday, 2:00, Geo Stadium, Canberra.
And will you be at that game?
Probably.
Probably not.
Rolling beers at you.
Supporting the Brumbies, not the Waratahs, just to be clear on that.
And our local sporting hero here in town, mate. Have you got a game this weekend or not?
Me, no game this weekend. We've got a week off before final is Saturday week.
Fantastic. Very nice. So make sure you hop out there and support all your local sports. And we're coming into the winter months shortly, and the NRL, AFL, and Super Rugby are all starting soon. Even though it's very hot at the moment, summer has finally arrived. The winter sports are coming. So
actually on that, Spinks, your daughter is taking up netball, which is actually should have been your good news item for this week.
Good news item, yes.
What a champion. That's the best news ever.
She'll be 7 in about 3 weeks time, and she's taking up netball, and she's very excited.
Auntie Ness has you covered. We've got this.
There we go. Very nice.
Should be getting you into tennis. Who am I to say?
Yeah, actually.
Tennis.
Send it to the golf course, tennis courts. There's no money in netball, Spinks. You're not retiring anytime soon.
God damn it, idiots.
And she'll have bad knees.
Righto, guys. We will see you all next week. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.